Welcome to the Serpentine Creative Channel. I'm your host, Stella Williams, and today I will be continuing the write process with my 5 rules to completing your first draft. Hello, fellow write tubers. Today I'm going to be talking about my 5 rules for writing a first draft. And these aren't really hard and fast rules, they're just what I use to help keep me focused and help me knock out that first draft without too many issues. Without further ado, here's rule number 1. Don't sweat the small stuff. If you are not an outliner and are pantser like me, sometimes you might start a project without even really having the character's name solidified or the setting solidified, and that's perfectly fine for your first draft. So don't sweat the details at this point, just get it out. Number 2, don't edit. The purpose of this is that you just want to get your ideas on paper. That's all your first draft has to be. So don't fuss about correct punctuation or run-on sentences at this point. I mean, you can fix minor spelling errors, but that's not what your focus is for your first draft. And the third rule is don't talk about Write Club. And I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with this. Some may agree with me on this, but if I haven't written the first draft yet, I don't talk about my writing project, because the worst thing that could happen is, one, someone can take your ideas, which we've seen happening recently in a big way with, copy paste Chris. And when it's just an idea and you don't have anything written, you don't have really any way of protecting yourself from things like that. So don't talk about your draft before it's completed, unless, I give this caveat, unless you're in a very trusted circle, such as your writing group, and you just want to have that 1 or 2 people that you bounce ideas off of. Especially if you're like an outliner, you might have done this prior to even writing your first draft. But to be honest, just try to keep it to yourself, because it's a good way to keep your own idea pure. Because if you have too many cooks in the kitchen, it can turn out to be a mess and something that you're not proud of and may not even finish. Your confidence might be taken down a notch or two if you have someone who's very cynical about the idea, or etc. And that brings me to rule number 4. Deadlines are suggestions. Unless you are one of the lucky few that were able to pitch your idea to a publishing company before your first draft was even done, or a completed manuscript was even done, deadlines are on you. And yes, deadlines can be helpful if you're struggling to just get something finished, but also don't stress about it. The more you stress about the first draft, the worse the process is going to be for you. And the first draft is supposed to be the funnest part of writing, because it's the first time you're taking the time to just sit down and get your ideas on paper. So even if you give yourself deadlines, also give yourself leeway to push those deadlines either forward or backward to suit your writing style and your writing process. And that brings me to the 5th and final rule: just write. You can outline your stuff to death. You can have 15 pages on your characters and your setting and your plot points, but it doesn't matter until you put pen to paper or finger to keyboard or typewriter or whatever your preferred method is and put the words down. So get out there, get writing, and get those first drafts done. Thank you for watching. If you've liked what I've done here, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your rules for writing a first draft and check out my other writer slash author tube videos. And if you're also an avid reader, head on over to the Serpentine Reads playlist, and I have reviews and commentary about paranormal romance by authors of color.